Life, business, or a project. Everywhere there is risk. Today, I'm going to talk about a risk management process. But the most important thing is how to identify the risk. What can possibly go wrong? And secondly, if you have identified risk, then what else you need to do? There are four main risk categories, such as hazards and risks, fires or injuries, operational risks, including turnover and supplier failure, financial risks, such as economic recession, and strategic risk, which include new competitors and brand reputation. Being able to identify what types of risk you have is vital to the risk management process. An organization or a company can identify their risks through experience and internal history, consulting with industry professionals, and external research. They may also try to conduct interviews or group brainstorming to reach at the desired or calculated conclusion. It is important to remember that the risk environment is always changing. So, this is a regular time to time reviewing process, and you have to do it on a regular basis. In this training session, I'll cover 5 steps to handle an organization's risk. Step number 1, analyze the risk of frequency and severity. Step number 2, determine the method of risk control. Step number 3, determine how you will finance the risk. Step 4, implement your chosen methods. And step 5, monitor your results. Prior to go in depth, if you're first time on this channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon for all future notifications. And if you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share it with your friends and colleagues. Let us jump on the main topic. Step number 1, how to make risk analysis with the help of frequency and understanding of severity. Dear friends and fellows, in this step, you have to determine what risks are the most dangerous and require the most resources and attention, and which are not as worrisome. In the risk analysis process, step 1, frequency, severity, likelihood, or probability. Few important terms I'll discuss and you need to understand thoroughly. Frequency is the likeliness that a risk will occur or how often it is likely to happen. If a risk has the potential to happen every day, a lot more resources should be directed to preventing it than if there is a low chance it will occur. So, simply, frequency means how many times, how frequent the risk or the happening or the chances of occurrence. That being said, you cannot assume that a risk will never happen just because it is unlikely. You simply don't need to pay quite as much attention to it. After frequency, the second most important term is severity. Severity is the measure of how much of an impact the risk would have it did occur in terms of financial damage, reputational damage, or other losses. The most severe risk must be dealt with more carefully than those that wouldn't have a big effect on your ability to operate. It means simply more severe, more dreadful, more dangerous, and it will impact more and more to your business or to your organization. This process allows you to prioritize the risk facing your organization and decide what ones you should work on first. And this is not possible unless you don't know the frequency and the severity of the risk. And this is step number 1 in the risk management process to analyze the risk for frequency and severity. Let us discuss now step number 2. Determine the method of risk control. Now you understand severity. You know how frequent the incident is going to happen. The second step is how to control this incident, how to stop, how to avoid, or how to prevent this accident or incident. For that reason, you need to choose a method of risk control. You have decided what risk to manage. You have to figure out what process you will use to control it. The key here is to find the solution that strikes the best balance between affordability and effectiveness. Your choice of solution needs to bring a good return on investment. Some possible some possibilities of risk control include risk transfer. What is risk transfer? This is step 2, passing the liability and risk onto someone else through waivers, contracts, or insurance policies. You are holding someone else responsible if something else goes wrong. This is risk transfer. What is risk acceptance? Taking the risk as it is. You cannot allow your business to become risk adverse. Without risk, no one could ever make a profit. If the risk comes with some kind of benefit, such as the inevitable risk of investment leading to a large payout, sometimes it's best to just accept the risk. This is risk acceptance. What is risk avoidance? If a risk is perceived to be too dangerous to be worth the benefit, you can avoid it by not taking the risky action at all or discontinuing the practice or the operation. Fourth way, risk prevention, creating policies and procedures that decrease the likelihood that the risk will occur, the frequency. For example, you could implement hourly inspections for hazards in a setting prone to customer slips, trips, and falls. And the fifth way, how you can control the risk mitigation, creating policies and procedures that decreases the impact of risk will have if it occurs the severity. For example, you could install a sprinkling system that will reduce damage if a fire breaks out. So these are the different ways, the control methods, and you have to choose one which is suitable for you and which is feasible for you as per your operations, your activities, and your nature of project. And this is step number 2 of the risk management process. Let us discuss now. Step number 3, determine how you will finance the risk. You can either retain the cost of the risk or transfer it. Risk transfer is when you buy an insurance policy that will cover the financial loss of the risk if it occurs. And risk retention is bearing the cost of the risk yourself, either through choosing to absorb the cost totally or through paying out a higher deductible on your insurance. For this step, you must determine how much the risk is likely to cost you and if you will be able to pay it while remaining financially stable. Step number 4 of risk management process, implement your chosen method. After you have decided how you are going to address the risk, it's time to put the plan into action. To do so, you must ensure you have senior management buy in and the necessary resources, whether that's time, personnel, or money. Then create a procedure that will address the risk consistently and regularly. Give training to all staff on the new policy and get everyone on board in following the procedure. Because if you identify the risk, if you correctly choose the process, if you allocate the resources, but you was unable to implement, all is just a waste of time, nothing else. So implementation is mandatory and the most important point. After the implementation, let us discuss now step number 5 of the risk management process, that is monitor your result. Dear friends and fellows, a risk management plan cannot simply be made and then forgotten as your organization and the landscape. It operates in continuously change. So do your risks. New risks may present themselves, or adopted policies may become too in depth or inadequate, or the method you choose to control a particular risk may simply be ineffective. So, it is important to track whether a risk management procedure is actually working. If not, it is pointless and you need to try a new tactic, new procedure. Continuous monitoring and improvement is the only way to get a real handle on properly managing risk in any industry or business. In this step, you need to understand, was your chosen method successful? Great. But a risk manager work is never done. Now it's the time to move on to the next most dangerous risk facing your organization. As I told you, risk management is a process, not a project that can be finished and then forgotten about. The organization, its environment, and its risks are constantly changing. So the process should be constantly revisited and reviewed, determine whether the initiatives are effective and whether changes or updates are required. Sometimes the team may have to start over with a new process if the implemented strategy is not effective. If an organization gradually formalizes its risk management process and develops a risk culture, it will become more resilient and adaptable in the face of change. This will also mean making more informed decisions based on a complete picture of the organization's operating environment and creating a stronger bottom line over the long term. So, this short training session about the risk management process is over now. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, comment and share the video. Hope to see you soon with a new HSC tutorial. Until then, take care. Good luck and goodbye.